What up, peeps and peepettes? MorbTron back today with more Destiny 2, and today we are taking a look at the exotic sword, Black Talon. Now, this is the only new exotic I've managed to get my hands on through a drop, other than, of course, the Chaperone and the Ace of Spades. But I wanted to take a look at it because it's really fun, and it's going to be a different style review. A lot more heavy in the editing, so let me know what you all think in the comment section down below of the style review. But let's get into the sword and what it does and its perks. So, of course, it is a void sword, and its intrinsic is called Crow's Wings. For me, it's right click. For you, it's one of your triggers if you're on console. You can just press it once, or you can press it twice to fire off projectile cross combo. So the first one is horizontal, second one's vertical. Or you can just fire off one, or you can jump into the air and fire off one, that sort of thing. It does consume 3 ammo per heavy attack. It's of course just 1 ammo per regular swing. There's no sort of special effect on the regular swing, only the heavy attack. Now, its other things are, it's got Tireless Blade, so powered sword kills grant sword ammo. So if you have ammo in the sword, every couple of seconds you can either swipe and get 1 ammo back if you kill something with that swipe, or you can power attack and get 1 ammo back as well. Of course, if you kill somebody with an empty hilt, with no sword ammo, you will not get ammo back. That's what that powered sword kills means. Heavy guard, so it has high efficiency and high defense, which is pretty good. So if you actually do block with your sword, it can block a fair amount of damage and doesn't blow through your ammo in the process like other swords do. And then it's got Tempered Edge, which just increases your sword damage and ammo. It's still weird saying sword ammo, but oh well. Now we're gonna go into some footage, and I'll kind of break down the pros and the cons of the sword. Now, is the Black Talon a good exotic in Destiny 2? The short answer to that, I would say, is yes. I think it's a great exotic in Destiny 2. Now, what do I consider it great for? Well, to be in a good exotic, or a great exotic, a weapon has to meet a certain number of criteria for me. It has to look the part, it has to feel good to use, it has to have some sort of flashy perk to it, or it has to be just flat-out amazing perk, like restores all of its ammo and does amazing things and increases your damage by a ton. And also, it has to be either a really good niche weapon, it has to either fill one specific role perfectly, or it has to be good, not perfect, not great, but good all over the place. And this weapon is definitely the latter of that. But taking a look at this thing, it is absolutely beautiful. The detail work that Bungie has put into this weapon with that little purple gem in the blade, and the blade itself being very intricate looking, fits very well into the Awoken kind of theme, with how all of their stuff looks extremely elegant, and that things must look the part as well as play the part. Now, will this sword replace your rocket launcher or grenade launcher for boss damage? As you can see, one swipe does 72.99 to this boss. Now I'm switching to my Bad Omens rocket launcher, which is the same power level, so there's no variances there. And as you can see, that's a ton of numbers. There's a lot of things over there as well, though, so you have to take that into consideration. But look at the boss's health here in just a second, and there we go. The boss is almost dead from one rocket. So will it replace your rocket launchers for straight up boss damage? No. Now keep in mind, this Bad Omens rocket launcher that I do have is kind of a PvE god roll. It has cluster bombs, it has tracking, and I also have a boss spec mod in it. But if you want to compare apples to apples, you have to have a rocket launcher in the best place a rocket launcher can be. And there you have it. It's not going to, be in the raid for a bullet sponge boss, but it might be good in a raid situation where you have to clear a ton of mobs with void shields. The void shields, very easy to break with a sword, obviously, because it is void, and it doesn't take up a whole lot of your ammo to throw one sword swipe their way to do that. So you can hold 42 ammo with your sword, and it consumes 3 to launch a swipe at somebody, or 1 just to actually swipe at somebody. And that's a lot of ammo comparing it to even a grenade launcher that can only hold maybe 16 rounds, less than that most of the time. So I think it definitely will have its uses. Now, in places like a Nightfall strike, I used it just this week in the Nightfall and had a blast using it. Came in clutch in a lot of certain situations where there was a ton of ads that needed to be cleared, especially when those ads had void shields. Now, as far as Crucible goes with this sword, I will say that it is incredibly inconsistent with its power attacks. Now, its regular attacks, it's a sword. You want to corner camp, third person with a sword out, you can do that very, very well. But the swipe attacks are extremely inconsistent in their tracking, and I have this clip coming up right here that shows that off very well. So I engage on this hunter. My first swipe misses, and my second swipe hits him for 154 twice. If you remember back to when I went after that boss in PvE, it did like 72.99 twice, so this weapon swipe attack hits things twice for the same amount. Now, slowing that down, you can see here the first swipe just barely misses, and my second swipe hits the hunter, but I end up trading with a kinetic ace of spades. So, is a power weapon worth it if you trade with a kinetic weapon? Now, granted, that kinetic weapon was the ace of spades, but that hunter also missed their first shot entirely. If they would have landed their headshots, I would have died before getting that second swipe out. Now, you could say this is a get good type scenario, but as you can see there, it tracked, it did its job, it one shot, but then it got taken out by some people camping in the back. So yeah, this thing can do work, but it's so utterly inconsistent that you don't really want to keep this thing in your back pocket. The other exotic sword with Tempest Rush is incredibly consistent with the way that its exotic perk works, but as with any sword in the Crucible, that's what usually happens when you pick up power ammo. You get yourself a brick of power, Titan comes around the corner and ruins your fun. Or you pick up power ammo, you run out, and you get huntered in the face. So, is it a good exotic to use in the Crucible? It can be fun. If you play to the weapon, it can be great. I imagine if you third-person crouch camp down a corridor, you can probably catch quite a few people off guard with the swipe attack, because you can do 3 swipe attacks versus, if you're camping with, say, a rocket launcher or something, or a grenade launcher, you might not get 3 kills out of it, but you could get potentially up to 7 kills with a sword with a regular swipe. So there is that. But if you're like me and you don't feel like crouch camping around a corner, you're going to have a hard time landing kills in the Crucible, as you saw there. Plus, with all the other space magic and rockets and bullets and grenades and all that other shenanigans going on, chances are you're not going to be able to take full advantage of that power ammo. So, what do I think about this weapon? I think it's a great exotic to use in like a Nightfall, or maybe ad clearing in certain encounters in the upcoming raid. We'll have yet to see, but it's going to be good at ad clearing. It's going to be great at taking care of things that have void shields efficiently. So there's that. Keep that in mind. But is it the meta? No. No, it is not. It is not great in the Crucible. I wouldn't really even use it in Gambit, because in Gambit you're going to want to use something like a rocket launcher or Black Spindle, Whisper the Worm, sorry, to take down your Primeval as quick as possible. And the sword, although it's flashy and it does burst down Void Shield, so it could do some work on the wizards next to the Primeval, you're then going to have to switch to something in maybe your energy slot, maybe a sniper rifle, something like that with special ammo that can do some damage. But if you like this video, leave a like. A positive rating is greatly appreciated as always. If you're new to the channel and you want to see more of my daily content, you can hit that subscribe button. But don't forget to have a good day, everybody, and I'll catch you all next time.